Today I'm breaking down new allegations from activists who joined a Gaza-bound flotilla and say they were mistreated while in Israeli detention. Here's the quick context. A civilian flotilla tried to sail toward Gaza to challenge Israel's naval blockade. Israeli forces intercepted the boats in international waters, escorted them to port, detained those on board for questioning processing. That's standard procedure in these cases. What's new are the accounts coming out after release and deportation. Several participants now allege rough handling during the seizure at sea. Zip-tied for long periods, pushed to the deck, struck while resisting orders. Some say phones and cameras were seized and footage deleted. Others report that once in detention, they were kept in crowded holding areas, denied timely access to lawyers, refused medication or medical attention for hours. These are allegations. They haven't all been independently verified. But the pattern they describe mirrors complaints seen in past flotilla incidents and in reports by human rights groups documenting treatment of detainees in Israel's short-term facilities. Israel's side? Officials say the Navy conducted a lawful interdiction to enforce the blockade. Crews were warned repeatedly, and that force was minimal and proportional when passengers resisted. The prison service and police typically say detainees receive medical care, food, consular access according to regulations, and that any use of force is reviewed. As of now, there's no public admission of wrongdoing and no completed internal probe tied to these specific claims. Legally, this sits at the intersection of maritime law, the laws of armed conflict, and domestic Israeli law. Israel argues the blockade is legal under international law and that intercepting ships on the high seas to enforce it is permitted. Critics point to the humanitarian situation in Gaza and argue that collective punishment concerns make the blockade unlawful, which would cascade into the legality of interdictions and detentions. On the ground level, the key questions are straightforward. Were detainees harmed beyond what's allowed in a security operation? Were medical needs and legal rights respected? Was evidence, like videos, improperly destroyed? What I'm watching next: independent medical exams of released activists, consular and ICRC notes. If the Red Cross had access, that matters. Habeas petitions, civil suits, appeals against deportation, any internal reviews announced by Israel's Navy police or prison service. If you want to follow this responsibly, look for multiple sources. Compare activist testimonies with statements from Israeli authorities, check reputable international outlets, and read reports from established NGOs. Be cautious with viral clips. Context gets lost fast. Big picture, this story is about accountability during security operations and the rights of detainees, no matter which side you're on politically. Allegations should be fairly investigated. Verified misconduct should be addressed, and false claims should be corrected. I'll keep tracking confirmations, denials, and any investigations that move this beyond allegation into documented fact. Until then, stay curious, be kind, and double-check your sources.